Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show, where we are here for the first time ever, hopefully, or for the second time ever, here on the show, bringing you the live stream once again. My name is Andrew Valentin. I'm here, of course, with the Kevin Berger. Kevin, how you doing?
Doing all right, guys. Doing all right. Just had a long day, but you know what? That's all part of the job.
Absolutely. I mean, it is hump day, and it's a hard one to get
Hump
over.
day.
Exactly, man. It's a hard one to get over. But we're here, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to give you all the hot things in sports. Obviously, we got a lot to pour over. It's been a very long week. A lot has happened. We're going to be getting into some NBA. We're going to drop into some college basketball as well a little bit here. Kind of a mixture between the two. We'll find a way to be able to blend the two lines together.
It's almost that time, Andrew.
It is getting close. It's getting very close. March is just around the corner, and we're going to be doing some special stuff for that when it comes to that. We're also going to talk a little bit on baseball, and then we're going to finish it off with some NFL, hopefully, as long as they're very nice to us, because we've been very nice to them. But enough about that. Kevin, you ready to get this one going? All right, well, you can see he's excited, so let's get this one started.
Woo!
The first thing we got to talk about, obviously, the NBA. We're getting very, very close to the playoffs coming. And certainly with that being said, it seems like a lot's being set into stone as far as who's going to be favorites in the playoffs, who's potentially going to be the team that can make it there. So I thought it'd be good. Let's go over the top 8 teams, at least for right now, because things can obviously change. But it seems like the East is getting pretty locked into place. So I thought it'd be good we go over a few of these teams. So the first team up here, obviously, is the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, Kevin, they're the top seed right now in the Eastern Conference. They're the team that everybody seems to really like going into this. They have probably, I would say, the most popular player right now in the NBA in Giannis. I mean, arguably, of course, but I think he's risen to that category of being a top 10 player.
Oh, easy.
So what are your thoughts with the Milwaukee Bucks? What do you see as their chances to get to that NBA championship? Do you think there's a possibility there, or what are your thoughts?
No.
No?
No.
Really? Okay.
Because, Andrew, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because
Okay.
as we know, you obviously just mentioned him. Giannis Antetokounmpo this season, I think, has been the most dominant player in the entire league throughout the regular season. And that's obviously fantastic. I'm really happy for the guy. He deserves it.
Right.
However, there's one small problem. Again, Giannis still cannot shoot the ball.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to say, it's because he can't shoot, his team's not going to win. No, I'm not going to say that. That's why you have Malcolm Brogdon. That's why you have Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez, insert other players' names here.
Yep.
But the problem is if there's one thing we know about the NBA is that come playoff time, the lane gets a lot smaller.
Yep.
Now, again, Giannis is still, basically 7 foot tall and extremely strong, but the fact of the matter is he's not going to be able to just go down the lane and have it parted like the Red Sea.
Right, yeah.
So, I think the Bucks are a year away.
Okay.
I think they're a year away. I don't think this year, I'd say this year they'll get to the second round.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it'd probably be a pretty tough series against a team like a Boston or a Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Even a Brooklyn, to be honest. Brooklyn's been very surprising as well. But my team in the East, I got to go with the Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have veteran leadership and experience on that team. You have championship-level experience as well between the likes of Danny Green and obviously Kawhi Leonard. Serge Ibaka's been to the finals.
Right.
What the hell? How do you pronounce his name? Siakam. I love him coming off the bench, and I think Kyle Lowry is going to be putting his big boy pants on this year, and I don't think he's going to fold in the playoffs this year like we've seen him in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah. No, you bring up a good, interesting point. Obviously, Milwaukee Bucks standing up there as the number one right now. They're one of the most productive teams out there. Like you said, Giannis, certainly big-time numbers, 27 points a game. You've got 12, almost 13 rebounds a game basically coming from this guy, 6 assists. The numbers are there, but then obviously outside shooting is really where a lot of it counts sometimes, and he's only shooting 24% from the three. Now, that's abysmal, obviously.
I think you and me might be able to shoot around 20%.
You maybe. I don't know. I'm not. Look, man, as small as I am, I'm just a rebound man. But when it comes to Giannis, there's just something about this. Like you said, there's something about him that I think they are still a long ways out. It's one of those things where he's the single superstar on this team. Chris Middleton's a great support man. Malcolm Brogdon, really good defensive two-way man.
Yep.
But there's nobody on here that really pops for me. I mean, Brook Lopez, not a superstar anymore. He's a role player. He's a bench guy.
He's definitely good.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they have a plethora of talented players.
oh, don't forget about
from
Thon Maker. Don't forget about all-world Thon Maker.
Well, Thon Maker's gone now, so
you're
he
right.
was traded away.
Who have they acquired now?
Well, so here's who they have on the team now. They have Tony Snell, George Hill, Sterling Brown,
old
Dante DiVincenzo, who was the popular man coming out
from Villanova.
from Villanova, and he's put up a decent amount of points coming off the bench. His 3-point shooting has not been there like it was back in college, but
It won't get the man.
he still scores the occasional buckets every now and then. But I mean, overall, this team, they still have a lot that they have to work on. Now, yeah, you mentioned the Raptors experience all the way around. They've got Kawhi Leonard, who's a Finals MVP.
Yep.
You've got Kyle Lowry, who can dish out the ball and finds his way to be able to hit the threes every now and then. Pascal Siakam, I still think he could be the big surprise coming out for the Raptors. I don't know if he stays with the Raptors, though. That's the other thing, though, because depending on what Kawhi Leonard decides to do, because this is it for him. If he decides he doesn't want to be in Toronto and he does want to go to LA, he's out of here. So this could be it for him. So I think Siakam could be that big piece. They say, well, it's nice to have him, but we could trade him out and go get a better talent.
And don't forget that they acquired Marc Gasol too at the trade deadline.
Exactly, and that's a big thing, and that's why. And I've always been hot with the Raptors because they're like I think everybody has those like teams they're a fan of.
Absolutely.
I love my Bulls first, but like the Raptors,
Unfortunately.
but I've always had an affinity for the Raptors because loved dinosaurs as a kid, fell in love with the Raptor logo, and ever since then I've just followed them. Got to know who Vince Carter was, got to know who Tracy McGrady was. I mean, this franchise has been very good. It's just never been good enough to get there.
It also hasn't helped that they're in Toronto, Canada.
That too. But it seems like this is the moment where they could really shine. They have this amazing group of players, this incredible talent put together now. And now you add Marc Gasol to that. I mean, this should be an NBA Finals team. But the problem is, obviously, there's teams underneath them that are going to cause problems. Obviously, we talk about Philly, the 76ers. As much as we people may not like them, we have to say this team has something special. They've got Joel Embiid, even though he's injured again. You've got Robert Covington's no longer there, but you got Ben Simmons, who can't shoot the three.
Can't score anywhere outside of 9 feet away from the rim.
The only two real big impact players I see for them are being Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler, and then J.J. Redick coming off the bench.
J.J. Redick should start, and they shouldn't have. I still say to this day, Andrew, they should not have gotten Jimmy Butler.
There's a lot of people that feel that way. I mean, just with obviously getting him puts them in that contention of, well, they've got to go to the finals now, right?
No, they're not, because it's because Andrew, I'm sorry, guys. Jimmy Butler is a great two-way player. He's one of the I'd say top 5 two-way players in the league.
Yeah.
But on offense, he is a liability because he is what we call a black hole. He gets the ball and does not pass it.
Yeah.
That's what he is, an ISO type of player on offense when it comes to scoring.
Yeah.
And 10 years ago, that would have been fine.
Right.
The only person right now who can really pull that off consistently is James Harden.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And Jimmy Butler doesn't have the offensive repertoire like James Harden does. He's not nearly as efficient as the players that Philadelphia gave up to acquire him.
Right.
So they've really suffered with the ball movement because the ball movement has gone way down.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sorry, Andrew, if Jimmy Butler thinks that if it's Game 7, when you got one last possession, he's not getting the ball.
Yeah, I would hope not. I'd rather give it to JJ, honestly.
No, I'm giving the ball to Ben Simmons. You're running a pick and roll Joel Embiid, and then your two superstars are gonna figure out what are gonna decide the game.
Right.
Those two are gonna decide the game. Not Jimmy Butler, not JJ Redick, not Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
No one. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
So Jimmy Butler, I'll bet you, is going to be on the way out.
Mhm.
I'll bet you they trade him next season because they're going to get sick and tired of it. Tobias Harris, on the other hand, I like Tobias Harris.
And he's a good role player, and he's been around for so long. And he does have that ability to kind of come in for that clutch shot. He's shooting 37% from three-point. He's averaging 20 points a game right now, so he's second in scoring. He is second in scoring for the team right now.
He's a very versatile guy too. You can slide him to the 4. He can step out and play the 3.
Exactly.
He's pretty solid at both. So I liked that pickup by
and honestly, not to take anything away from obviously having JJ come in as that sixth man, he's great.
Yep.
But you look at the rest of their bench, and
there's really nothing.
There's not
left.
a lot to work with.
There's nothing left.
No, and I mean, I know there's people out there saying, "Oh, but Boban, man, he got this." Here's the thing. I
don't care about Bobo.
He's great with the rebounding. Love him for the rebounding.
Stop comparing him to the.
But he's also hurt too. He's playing hurt.
He also ain't shit compared to the White Mamba. So y'all can stop it.
But
Brian Scalabrine smoked that man every time.
All right, yeah, that's true, very true. But the 76ers, I mean, do I think they can get to like the semifinals? Yeah, I think they definitely can. Do I think they? You know what? I will say this. I think they will. I think this team can, and I think they will. Now, obviously, I don't know how the matchups are going to form, but who they face is going to be a completely different thing, and how they get there is going to be a different thing.
Well, it's 8 seeds. So right now, 4.
So right now they're sitting at
the
the
4
4.
Celtics.
So right, because so that. Well, then I got to go with the Celtics then, unfortunately. So scratch that one then. I mean, if everything lines up the way it is right now, then I would say I take the Celtics.
Yep.
Even though, and here's the thing, and this is where we move now into the Celtics, because obviously there's a lot of controversy going on right now with the Boston team. Because I mean, this team has had a number of problems in the past before, but now it seems because of all the players they have loaded onto this group, it's like it's highlighted times 10 because of all the star power that they have going right now.
Let Kyrie Irving walk.
You would let Kyrie Irving walk, really?
Andrew, I don't want someone on my team who to this day believes that the earth is flat.
All right, but
that tells you all you need to know about Kyrie Irving right there is that the man's a goddamn idiot.
But outside of that, I mean, his numbers have he's producing extremely well.
So why aren't they winning?
They're
37-24.
Right.
This team was the number 1 seed last year.
Yep.
And now, all of a sudden, now they can't win. And the only real addition they've made to the team is now Gordon Hayward.
Right.
I mean, well, yeah, Jason Tatum too, but.
Well, yeah, but no, it is a good point. I mean, you would think with Gordon Hayward coming back into this team, like everything,
everybody there, that they should be winning, but they're not.
Yeah, but unfortunately, this team, it does seem like something is off. There's a lot of questions as to what's causing it. There's certainly talk of chemistry issues here and there. A lot of it seems to be poured on Kyrie Irving, and if he really does want to be in Boston. There's all that speculation that he does want to go back home to New York and play with the Knicks. I don't know if that's the case or not.
He was from Australia.
No, I'm pretty sure. I think he's from New York.
No, I thought he was born in Australia.
Well, maybe he was. I don't know. But a lot of people have been pointing out that he wants to go play in New York.
Why?
That's the biggest question, because I think a lot of people are speculating that Durant will be there.
Nobody wants to be a part of the Knicks, Kyrie. You don't.
I mean, that's been my biggest thing is nobody wants to actually be.
Kristaps Porzingis didn't even want to stay there anymore.
Yeah, the reason you go there is because it's the biggest market in the world and you can sell yourself. But I mean,
because Kyrie Irving has totally had a problem with doing that.
Right, but I think a lot of the energy's been poured on Kyrie Irving because. Oh, you're the point guard, you're the top man, and obviously here in the NBA, today's game, it's all about the point guard. And because that all started with Steph Curry. Steph Curry set the mindset that your point guard is your star player because he holds the ball in his hand, and he also changed the game because now you got to shoot threes.
Was it really set at Steph, though? Because, I mean, before Steph, there was the likes of Chris Paul and Allen Iverson and Steve Nash, and to a lesser extent, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. Well, because here's the thing. Whenever I've looked at the NBA, you look at the history of the NBA, there seems to be ongoing shifts in the league, right? When LeBron James came in, it seemed like it was nothing but power forwards and small forwards that were conquering the game. Basically, if you want to win, you need your small forward and your power forward to be your like best players. Nowadays, it's like you need your best player to be your point guard, and nowadays you also have to have everybody shooting the three. So that's where that's where I feel like the game is, because now you look around the game, who are some of the first players that are getting drafted? Sometimes it's the point guards. It's those players that are holding the ball, or at least the players that are able to handle the ball and take the ball under control. And that's the big thing I see. And that's the problem with like Kyrie. Kyrie's trying to be, that next Steph Curry, but he can't match that. I mean, he's talented, but he's not on that level.
Just Kyrie, just go be Kyrie. You're one of the best finishers in the league, because you can either finish at the rim or you can. Actually, no. Yeah, he is one of the best finishers because he's more crafty.
Yeah. He really, look, there's no taking anything away from him,
Nope.
but I think
like Drake.
what he is doing though is he's taking more of an offensive front that he needs to. You've got Jason Tatum, you've got Al Horford, you've got Marcus Morris, you've got Gordon Hayward, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. You've got all these weapons. Obviously, guys are not always going to be hitting the money all the time, but when you've got playmakers like that, because I'm telling you this right now, I do not want to see Boston trade Jason Tatum for like Anthony Davis, because, and I've heard this.
Give up Jaylen Brown.
I've heard Cowherd say this. I've heard Jalen Rose from ESPN say this. That kid is not even close to his ceiling yet.
No,
he's not even close to what he can.
If you're going to
be.
give up one of the two of them, give up Jaylen Brown.
Absolutely.
And I would low key like to not even see you give up him either.
Yeah,
Guess what?
if you can keep him 100%, but it's going to be
let Kyrie walk.
Danny
Ainge has proven already that he can find guards.
Yeah.
I mean, who the hell thought Terry Rozier would be as good as he is?
I mean, well, who would have thought this team would even be in this position, Last year we saw them be in first place. Nobody saw that coming. Now this year, they're still in the top 5 for the East.
Yeah.
And a lot of people thought with all the problems they were having, they're like, oh, they're going to fall out of the contention and stuff. This team's not going to fall out of contention. It's just a matter of, are they going to be at a good level when it all comes to. I'm hoping that they can get it together by playoff time, because if they're still having dysfunction by that point, it's gonna be a rough fight for them. But so you're saying you think it's gonna be Toronto coming out of the East then, right?
Yes.
Okay. I will say, this is where it gets tough, man, because I do agree. Milwaukee, I don't think is ready just yet.
No.
I don't think Philadelphia, like you said, with Jimmy Butler and all that, I think that's going to be a tough ride, because I think he's going to make it tough on them. He's going to make it hard for them to be able to be a team.
Philadelphia is only going to go as far as Ben Simmons takes them. Nobody
and
else.
Joel Embiid. I will put Joel Embiid in there, because right now I will say I think Joel Embiid's 1,000 times better than what Ben Simmons is right now. Because even Joel Embiid can at least hit a three. Like you got to give him props on that. At least the big man can hit a three every now and then. But I would say if it's going to come down to like a semifinals, I mean, it'd probably have to be like Boston and Toronto.
Yeah, I can see that in that.
And I think
finals.
I feel like Boston's going to get it together. It's going to click at the right moment, and you're going to see that team take off at the right time. So I have to say I think it's Boston. But then again, obviously the East is supercharged. I mean, we didn't even say anything on the Pacers, man, and even without Victor Oladipo,
I'm extremely impressed.
I think they're like 2-3 years out.
They're doing some really good work over in
absolutely
in Indiana. I'm actually really excited to see how this team develops and grows. Andrew.
Absolutely.
And the one Midwest. Okay. I guess you could count Detroit as Midwest. Did we count Detroit as Midwest? How does that work?
They're in the conference. I guess they count. They're.
I mean, they are also East. Oh well, then
yeah,
again,
they are
no,
in there,
no.
so.
Indianapolis is East Coast time too.
Yeah.
So you know what? As the highest ranked Midwestern team, I would like to see them at least get out of the first round.
Well, they're not the highest. I mean, Milwaukee is, but. Second highest, yes.
Whatever.
I know Milwaukee has to count. Yes, I know.
What? Milwaukee's just a tiny Chicago.
So now you got all the people in Milwaukee just being like, "Oh,
hey,
that's it."
hey, you guys are tiny Chicago, but you guys got Miller. So you know what? You're all right. And hey, I had some pretty good times up in Milwaukee this past summer. It was pretty fun.
But yeah, the Pacers. I mean. I don't think they're ready for the jump just yet.
Not
Obviously,
yet.
you lost Oladipo.
Gotta have Oladipo.
He's one. I'll say this. I think he's one of the best two-way players out there. Absolutely.
Yeah, he is.
He's certainly an all-star.
And it really irritates me how a lot of people said that he was a bust when he was with Orlando or when he was with Oklahoma City. I'm like, well, okay, first of all, they gave him the keys to the franchise in Orlando when there was literally nothing else there besides him and
Well, I think
Alfred
he's just one of those guys that he needs to be surrounded with the right talent.
which he is.
Which, he was trying to be a franchise saver in Orlando. Then he had to play backup in Oklahoma City.
to Russell Westbrook.
Now he's able to be the star with a good amount of talent around him in Indiana. So I think this is where you find the success. But again, 2-3 years out, they get another superstar. They get another, they trade for, who knows, maybe. I mean, it's a long shot, but,
Please don't say Anthony Davis.
I'm not going to say Anthony Davis. I'm going to say, though, if Paul George doesn't find happiness in OKC, I know he's got the giant contract now, but if he doesn't find happiness in OKC, he could find a way to return back home.
I think Paul George is going to stay right where he is. So,
I think so, too, but I'm just...
Moving on to Jay-Z's team. For those of you who don't know, that is the Brooklyn Nets.
Yep.
Wow. Truth be told, Andrew, I did not expect them to be as good as they are.
Yeah.
And this is what happens when your team finally gets a draft pick.
Oh, yeah.
But do you know who I've been most impressed with is, honest to God, is D'Angelo Russell.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. He's come back to his own.
People were writing him off as a bust in L.A.
Absolutely. I mean, this Brooklyn team, before we wrap this one up, I mean, with the other remaining teams here, Brooklyn, Detroit, and Charlotte, all these teams are one of those they're those teams that have the fantastic players, but they're still just lacking that little energy they need. I mean, Brooklyn, they've got, like you said, D'Angelo Russell's come back. Seems like he's finally grown
Spencer
into
Dinwiddie.
that player. Yeah, he's like he's sort of like the John Wall. He took a little time, but he's finally growing into his own. You're seeing Allen from Brooklyn. He's really stepped up as the big-time center for them.
Oh, yeah, Lavoie.
Charlotte's being carried by Kemba Walker. Detroit has Blake Griffin.
That man's going to get paid this offseason.
Absolutely.
Kemba.
Absolutely.
He's gonna get paid.
He will
He's
get his
gonna get
big
paid.
contract.
And except, Andrew, the thing, I don't understand Detroit.
Yeah.
They have so much talent on that team, and yet they're just so painfully average.
Yeah. I mean, that's a tough sell.
Andre Drummond, Blake Griffin, and Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
I'm like, how the hell are you not winning more games?
I think it's a thing of chemistry, man, honestly. I think it's a thing of chemistry with them. I think that team is winning games, but I don't think they've gelled together.
I mean, they're 29 and 30 right now.
Yeah. I mean, well, and that's all you need.
The 7th and 8th seeds in the East aren't even at 500, and they're going to get in the playoffs.
And that's all you need to know about the East, ladies.
And yet the Bulls can't even tank properly, everybody. Because they've won about, what is it, like 3 of their last 4 or something like that? Stop winning!
Talk about it.
You guys can play well, just don't win!
Do you want a top pick or not?
Yes!
Make a decision.
Give me R.J. Barrett, please.
All right. Well, you guys can let us know, who do you think is going to be able to come out of the East here? Are there any surprise teams you're going to be able to see? Will the Bulls make a push for the playoffs? You guys can just throwing that out there. You guys can let us know in the comment section down below. All right, moving on. We got to move into the big time story.
You want me to flip this table, don't you?
Do you really think that's going to happen? No.
Exactly. I would not put it past them to try.
They just go 500 all of a sudden. Don't worry, that's not going to happen. It's impossible at this point. It's impossible at this point. All right.
If anyone could find a way, it'd be the Bulls.
True. All right, the next thing we got to talk here is LeBron James, ladies and gentlemen.
LeBron James!
And obviously, if you guys don't know, there's been a lot of loss of love in Laker country.
California love, not so much.
Absolutely. Apparently, LeBron James has made comments about his team, saying that the Lakers lack sense of urgency and that the team also seems to be distracted.
Well, considering, LeBron, let's back this up real quick to about, 2.5, 3 weeks? Let's back this up about 3 weeks ago. Considering that this organization that you went to in this offseason made it public that if your name is Ball, Kuzma, Ingram, or Hart, they were actively trying to get rid of you for Anthony Davis. And not only was it in private, they came out and said it publicly.
Yep.
So why in God's name, if I am Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, Kyle Kuzma, or Brandon Ingram, should I give a rat's ass about what the hell LeBron has to say?
Absolutely.
I don't. I don't. I don't give a shit about what he has to say, what Magic Johnson has to say, Rondo, Stevenson, whoever.
Yeah.
If I am one of those four guys, I am out to get mine and get out.
Yeah.
Because LeBron James has now single-handedly ruined the Lakers organization in a matter of less than a year.
Ooh, man, hot take there. No, but you bring up some good points, though. I mean, especially with the whole, it's a very me, my, and I feeling right now in the Lakers organization, it feels like. I mean, and I will say, when the season started, it felt like everybody was very kind of like, we're going to be a good team. It's all about team. And then as the season has gone on, it feels like it's LeBron and then everybody else.
Yeah.
Because to me, it feels like everybody else on the team is still kind of like, well, we can all still do something. But then LeBron's kind of like, yeah, but I'm in charge.
See?
And that's where the problem starts.
This is the running joke, Andrew. It was not the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was the Cleveland LeBrons.
Yep.
It was not the Miami Heat. It was the Miami 3.
Yeah.
Then it was the Cleveland LeBrons again.
Uh-huh.
Now it's the LA LeBrons. Anyone who does not think that LeBron James is not making the decisions is a fool.
Yeah.
Because the young players have figured out that they're just trade bait.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Walton has figured out that in all likelihood he's not going to have a job because of LeBron James. And all the veteran guys have basically figured out they're just cannon fodder to be excuses if this team fails.
Yeah.
Because think about who he got. He got Rondo.
Right.
What has Rondo always been labeled as? Great talent, good point guard, uncoachable.
Right.
A problem in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Lance Stevenson, problem in the locker room.
Yep.
Uncoachable, is a jerk.
Yep.
Michael Beasley. To start the season, they had Michael Beasley. Similar circumstances.
Oh, yeah.
LeBron has done all of this on purpose so that way he can try to bait another superstar. But guess what, Andrew? That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to play with LeBron anymore.
Yeah.
Because if I'm Anthony Davis, what motivation do I have to play with LeBron James?
I mean, outside of winning an NBA title, which, there's not even a guarantee with that, though, because he's been getting hurt more and more, and this season is showing it. He's 34 years old.
Father time always wins.
Exactly.
And if you're Anthony Davis, Andrew, are you going to sacrifice what you are as a player? Not integrity or morality or ethics. I'm not talking about any of that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about who you are as a basketball player. Because I think I've mentioned this before. Chris Bosh, when he was in Toronto, was one of the best inside-outside scorers in the league.
Oh, yeah.
He could face up, back to the basket. He could step out.
Right.
Well, what happened when he went to play with LeBron and Wade?
He was a third wheel.
Well, not only was he a third wheel, they literally just said, Chris, go stand in the corner.
Right.
And LeBron or Dwayne Wade is going to drive down the lane. We're going to kick you the ball. You better hit an open three.
Yeah.
And God forbid if you went to the wrong corner and Ray Allen wanted that corner, then you're going to get your ass kicked out of there real quick. Yeah. Kevin Love, same thing.
Right.
Now, Kevin Love, one of the best inside-outside scorers, goes to Cleveland, glorified spot-up shooter.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
So why is Anthony Davis, if you are 7 foot, that skilled, back to the basket, away from the basket, handling the ball, rim protector,
right,
everything he can do well, why the hell are you going to go to LA and risk the possibility of basically LeBron's game not gelling with your own until the point where you're going to be a glorified spot-up shooter? Because you're not going to have him go back to the basket because LeBron needs the lane to be effective.
Right, yeah. No, that was the big question on what would happen if Anthony Davis did go to LA, because you're talking about a guy who's 6'10", 6'11", about the same size as LeBron. Yep. They both play the same position, power forward, essentially. So do you move him to center? Because he knows
No.
how to play that spot, but he doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, but you don't want him to do that.
Right. Especially if you're not only are you taking on that big time contract, but he's arguably one of the top 5 players in the league.
Oh, and then also
MVP caliber.
Yep.
I mean, you can't argue with a man if he wants to stay at his spot. What are you going to say?
No.
He's not going to listen to that. He's going to
No.
say, I'm going somewhere else then. See ya.
Oh, and then also I forgot cannon fodder. Shaqtin' the full MVP 3 years running JaVale McGee. Although I will give the man credit. JaVale, you've had a pretty solid season this year. I haven't seen you on Shaqtin' the fool a whole hell of a lot. And you know what? No. In all seriousness, Andrew, all seriousness, JaVale, I'm really happy for you. I really liked you for a very long time. And I'm sorry, I just find all the memes and stuff really, really funny. But you know what? I'm proud of you. You've finally found a spot where you could start.
Yeah.
And he's done a pretty serviceable job.
You know what? He's made a career out of being a attractive role player in whatever system he's been plugged in, and that's what it's all about.
I wish I was that tall and that athletic.
Same here. It's a dream of mine. I wake up sometimes and be like, "Am I 7 foot?" No. All right. You just look up and you kind of just hope.
Do you have the little marker on your kitchen?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Kitchen
yeah. I'm still making notches there, being like one day, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna notice the notch start to go down, and I'll go, hold on a sec. Wait a minute. Nobody said I shrink.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but yeah, this Lakers situation. As far as like
it's laughable.
Yeah, and as far as like the future of the Lakers, I think this is going to be. I think what'll happen is they're going to look to trade some of these guys out. They're going to bring in a big star. I don't know if it'll be Anthony Davis or Kawhi Leonard or whoever.
I bet you any money it's not Kawhi.
I think they bring somebody in here, and you see them go to the playoffs, but you see it all just crumble to pieces. I think they could make even a push to the semifinals with bringing in another superstar, but I just think that at that point you'll see the in-house fighting start. You'll see a constant push to say, you're leaving soon, LeBron. It's going to be my team. I came here because I'm supposed to kind of take over the reins eventually from you, which is the whole thing with Kyrie Irving and why he left Cleveland. Yeah.
LeBron's not going to want to do that.
He never wants to do that. He doesn't want to turn over the keys to the Ferrari while he still has it. He obviously still wants to keep driving it but look, when somebody else can drive it better than you can, you got to turn over the keys.
Well, if you believe LeBron's word, then he wants to play until he can possibly play with his son.
That's not going to happen.
No, that's
not going to happen.
Because his son, I think, is like a sophomore in high school.
His son is 12, 13 years old.
Oh, for God's
sake. He certainly can play till he's 40, 41.
No.
But he's not going to be the same LeBron.
No.
What's he going to do? Be the bench player to his son?
Oh.
Like, is that what's going to happen? You're going to be picking up your son's scrap time? Is that what's going to be? I'm just saying it could, you know how did I just kill you there, Kevin? See, I mean, it's just like it's just one of those things that you got to take into account, man. You don't want to be 41, 42 and picking up your son's scrap time. You play 2-3 minutes underneath him at the end of a game. Just saying, man. That's all it is. You okay there?
Yeah. that was a good one.
Thank you. I pride myself.
Can the Lakers make a push to the playoffs? No.
No.
Next question.
Absolutely, yeah. That's just a scrapper there. All right. So, what do you guys think though about LeBron James's comments? You guys can let us know.
Welcome to Big Baller Zone.
Just stop it. In the description down below, let us know what you guys think. All right. Well, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. But when we come back, we're gonna be discussing the NBA age change along with Zion Williamson and his little incident that happened against UNC. And then, of course, we're going to get into it more with a coach from a famous show on Netflix. And we're going to get into just why exactly he may not be around too much longer. We'll be back here on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show.
Man, I'm so hungry. I need somewhere to eat fast. I have no idea where to go.
Psst. Hola, me llamo El Taco de Taco. You know where to go for the amazing taste that'll have you craving more? Taco Bell.
Can I get 20 tacos, please?
You got it.
Thanks, Taco.
De nada.
Good. That's it. Eat the tacos.
Taco Bell. Live más.
The Chicagoland area has a large number of lonely dogs currently filling shelter pens, just waiting to find a family. Nothing adds warmth to a home like a wagging tail and a warm pair of brown eyes. If you are considering adding a dog to your household, visit the Anderson Animal Shelter, where adoption counselors can assist you in selecting your new best friend. Make your house a home. Adopt a shelter dog. To see a current list of adoptees, visit their website at www.andersonanimalshelter.org or meet them in person at 1000 South LaFox Street in South Elgin. Don't have room in the home for a new furry family member? Donations of toys, collars, and soft or hard non-perishable dog food are always accepted and are greatly appreciated. All animals are spayed or neutered and are waiting with tails wagging to find a loving home. Visit 1000 South LaFox Street in South Elgin or www.andersonanimalshelter.org for more details.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the X1 Sports Live Show. I'm still Andrew Valentin, and this is still Kevin Berger, who has now recovered from his injury after falling off the chair. A lot faster than Joel Embiid probably will recover from his injury, of course. Not again. Don't do it again. Look, man.
That was a murder! Get that guy, I'm mad.
Look, man, I got to take my shots where I can because these guys drive me crazy with their injuries
I can't hit the table, Andrew. So what else am I supposed to do?
Well, I mean, if you do, then
Yeah, and then
hold up the sign, don't hit the table.
Yeah, exactly, and I don't want to deal with that.
Exactly.
So.
All right, well, where we left you guys off, we were talking about the NBA Eastern Conference and LeBron James of the Lakers and their whole controversy. Now we're moving on to the NBA changing its age and Zion Williamson and how these two mesh. So to pour into this one a little bit more, the NBA has submitted a proposal that'll change the age of the players entering the NBA draft. Instead of being 19 years old, they will only have to be 18 years old.
Great idea.
We're going back to the old ways of it, where it used to be high school players entering the NBA. Obviously, a lot of people have.
They can. It's not saying they will.
Well, yeah. I mean, they technically don't have to play 1 year of college, but they have to wait 1 year before they enter the NBA draft. So that is why it's called the one and done rule for a lot of people, essentially. But this obviously has been a process for quite some time. The NBA has been thinking about this. The Players Association has been asking for this for quite some time.
Yep.
Now I want to ask you, obviously, Kevin, do you think that this is an impact coming from Zion Williamson? And what do you see as the potential impact going forward? Or do you see this as maybe being more of a downfall? What are your thoughts on this?
No, Andrew, everybody wants this except the NCAA themselves.
Right. Yeah.
The Players Association wants it because why don't you? Because then it has the possibility of getting some younger guys in faster.
Right.
The NBA teams want it because some people have said, guys, that some of these one and done kids are actually prepared less from their 1 year of college than they would have been if they would have just gone if they would have tried it for the NBA right away.
Oh yeah.
And it's good for the players because then they get a chance to go get paid. Now,
Right.
is that saying that every high school superstar is going to be instantly drafted into the NBA? One, no, because not every single one of them is going to immediately try for the NBA.
Right.
A lot of these kids, they're not stupid.
Right.
They know it's going to be extremely difficult. Now, do we have our exceptions like a KG or a Kobe?
Right.
Or even Andrew Bynum for those couple of years. Dwight Howard is another one that I can think of.
LeBron James. I mean,
LeBron, obviously.
I mean, there's so many
yes,
out
there
there.
are exceptions.
Right.
But for the vast majority of those guys, it either took a lot longer for them to develop or it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
I'll point to one who is an NBA champion and was a Defensive Player of the Year, is Tyson Chandler.
Yes.
Tyson
Yep.
Chandler came out of Santa Dominguez High School, was given the keys to the Bulls,
Yeah.
and he wasn't there yet because mentally and especially physically for a big man, he wasn't mature enough yet.
Right.
He was still learning how to play. Most of those guys are still going to end up learning how to grow.
Yeah.
They'll still be growing.
Well, you see it now. I mean, like I said before, with John Wall, with D'Angelo Russell, it took them how long before they finally came into their own? I mean, John Wall, it took him. He came in at 19 years old. He didn't really become the superstar I would say he is now until about 24, 25.
Still hasn't.
Which was only a couple of years ago.
Still hasn't figured out how to fix that jump shot.
Well, yeah, exactly. And he's still and even still, he has a lot to work on. D'Angelo Russell, is he perfect? No, but finally he's coming into his own as kind of the leader for the Brooklyn Nets going forward. They can say, okay, he's starting to establish himself, so we don't really have to worry about that. So now we can kind of work things around him and see how we can produce a team well. And that's the problem, I think, with a lot of these guys. And whether this rule is good or bad, I mean, there's two sides to this thing, obviously. To me, I think it can be a good thing because, obviously, to tie this in with, like, Zion Williamson, you know, we talk about what happened with him and everything. The Duke situation, he just got injured in the UNC game. If you guys don't know, he had the mild ankle sprain that happened, or knee sprain, grade 1 knee sprain that happened against UNC, where his shoe just
literally
exploded. Now, that is like a double-edged sword because on one hand that says that shows how powerful this man is and why he probably should not be in college basketball. But this is also something that says, too, if he's not careful on how he handles himself and if he lets himself go too rigorously, then he is going to find himself in a big-time problem.
So, Andrew, does that mean that you're telling me that Zion Williamson should not try while he's at Duke?
No. I'm not saying...
What is too hard? You cannot tell these kids... Don't go too hard or you're going to get hurt. Do you know what happens when you're in an athletic contest?
Right.
When you're actively trying to not get hurt,
you
get hurt.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like this shows like the raw power that this kid can certainly have. And it's one of those things where it's like, do you want to contain that within the college? I'm not saying for myself, but there's obviously those out there who have made the statements of, why would you hold this kid down? Why would he stay at Duke? He should leave Duke, do what Nick Bosa did, and just say, look, I'm already the top player going in the draft. But at the same time, this kid should also understand, too, that he's still having to compete with a lot of kids. Yes, he's very talented, but there's a lot of kids that are coming in front of him. But I would not put it past him if he did say, you know what, I am just going to step away from Duke. I got my opportunity to go to the NBA coming up soon. But if that's the case, then why even go to Duke? Why commit there?
That is my point.
Yes. I figured you were going to say that.
So what? If these guys accidentally twist an ankle during practice, they're supposed to shut it down? They're supposed to shut it down for the rest of the season? Why did you even go to Duke at that point?
Yeah.
And then there's the people. There was someone that called in 2 weeks, right after it happened, the day after it happened, on the Bernstein and McKnight show. It was on a Friday because that's why I was able to hear the show.
Yeah.
And they said, the college education, they value the college experience. No, they fucking don't.
Yeah.
They don't value the college experience. They're there for what? They're there to major in basketball for a semester.
Yeah.
As soon as they step on campus, their life is eating, sleeping, and breathing basketball.
Yeah.
They go to class just to pass.
No,
that's all they do.
I mean, well, we've talked about this here on the show many times where guys have said, it was Cardell Jones. He tweeted out, I didn't go to Ohio State to play school. And it was brought up by one of our guys who found the tweet, and it's a perfect example of what these guys want to go through.
They don't
this is
care about the college experience. They don't care how much the degree is worth. They don't care how much the scholarship is worth.
Right.
Because guess what? You can always go back to school.
Exactly.
So people that find that such a difficult concept that these guys would so willingly basically go to school for a semester, because literally once the conference tournaments start, they're not at school at all.
No, they're away.
They're away from school the entire time, and as soon as the conference tournaments are over and as soon as the NCAA tournament's over, they drop out of school to go get ready for the NBA. So if you're going to tell me that they should just shut it down, Why did they play basketball at all?
Yeah.
Why don't
sign
just,
that letter of intent?
Yeah, why don't you just sit out for a year?
Or play in Europe, or like
okay, except you're
Brandon Jennings or Moutier or any of those guys.
Except Emmanuel Moutier and Brandon Jennings are also special cases that they actually found a team that they can play for one season.
Right. Well, but that's the thing is like, you're
Because
telling me someone wouldn't give Zion. I mean, I'm sure somebody would like be like, heck yeah, bring that kid over. Like,
except is he
absolutely.
going to get minutes?
That's the thing. Though.
Because
are we going to see the same kid in
Exactly.
Australia or wherever?
That's the thing. Is that here?
It's a good point.
Here he can play.
Right.
You don't know because it's not, we're just going to develop him for a year and then let him go.
Yeah.
No, guys, the European teams are not like that.
Right.
If you go to like a Real Madrid or Olympiacos in Greece or some of these big-time teams, no, they're playing to win.
Well, I think with Zion, because I look at Zion and I say it's like Brandon Jennings, because Jennings had such a big reputation coming out of high school. And so did Zion when he was coming out of high school.
I mean,
everybody had heard about this kid.
So did Sebastian Telfair, and look how that worked out for him.
Well, yeah.
I mean, granted, also Sebastian Telfair was not 6'8", 285 pounds, and can jump 45 inches.
But this is one of those things where it's like, I think that sort of reputation, even if he would have went to a team and he wasn't maybe putting up the same numbers we're seeing now or doing the same things, we still would have said, okay, but we know what he did in high school and we know the level. But that's the problem, though, that still stands because look at what Brandon Jennings has become. How many people actually remember his name? He was decent for a few amount of years, and then he just kind of went off the map.
He was a journeyman in the NBA.
Exactly. He found himself going through the league every other year.
But the whole thing is that you point to, how Zion did in high school. Guys, and why are you wasting his talent in college? Zion is not going to body players in the NBA like this. Not on a daily, every night basis.
Right.
He'll catch some bodies.
Yeah.
But guys are not going to let him just go up and just dunk at will.
Right.
That's not going to happen. I'm
no,
sorry.
He's
going to
get knocked around.
He is going to get knocked around.
Yeah.
Because as big as he is, as explosive as he is, and as strong as he is, give me DeMarcus Cousins against him. DeMarcus Cousins destroys him.
Oh, I think when Zion comes out, I think there's going to be a lot of players like DeMarcus Cousins, like Allen, like John Collins. John Collins in Atlanta always, from what I've seen from the papers, from the clips that have given him quotes, he's always up for a challenge on anybody. Give me somebody and I will go against him one-on-one every day. So I am looking forward to the day when he and Zion, wherever Zion comes, if he goes to Atlanta, him and John Collins going one-on-one.
Did you see LeVar Ball said that his sons are bigger than Zion?
Are you kidding me?
No.
That you've got to be joking. If you put them all together.
I guess someone asked him, is Big Baller Brand going to make an offer to Zion Williams? He's like, they ain't bigger than my sons.
Are you kidding? Dude, Zion could probably eat his kids. Literally could probably eat his kids.
Probably
I'm not
the little
even just
one.
talking on the court. I'm talking like literally just eat those kids up.
Probably the youngest one, yeah.
I mean, he would probably just one-on-one with each one of those guys. He is destroying them. There's no way. I'm not even addressing Mr. LeVar Ball. Okay?
Welcome to Big Baller Zone.
Not even gonna go there. But no, I honestly, this whole change. I mean, this change won't come into effect until 2022. So that's what they're kind of aiming for right now for this age change.
So Andrew, do you think what is your solution to the one and done?
I don't know if it really is a solution for the one and done. I like what the NBA has done, though, in implementing the rule that if you don't get drafted into the NBA, you can come back to school. I think that is that is one of the rules put in now.
Okay, except it doesn't matter for the NBA though. It matters for the NCAA because the NCAA once you hire an agent,
that's the thing. You can get drafted, but once you have the agent. That's it.
Except that's the thing is that a lot of guys they hire the agents before the draft.
Well, the good thing is like last year they said I believe 1/3 of the participants for the draft or that the prospects that found themselves going to the draft were without an agent. And then you saw many of them start to withdraw themselves because I want to come back here, which is the smart thing for some of these guys because it's like get your draft value up, find another route, something like that.
how's this for an idea?
What's up?
So you know how the NHL and the MLB has theirs, right? Like you can get drafted out of high school,
Right.
and then you can either go to the minors right away,
Yep.
or you can still go to college. And then if you go to college, I believe the NHL is 3 years.
Yes,
It's
I
3
believe
years,
so.
and I believe the MLB is 3 years as well. And then they have their that team that drafts you has your contract rights for 5 years. What about this NBA? You can do the similar thing. You can go, you can get drafted by an NBA team. Let's say you can try out for the team. Obviously, you do summer league and everything. You might get sent to the G League. You might make the roster. You might make the big roster.
Right.
Or you can go to college 2 years. Freshman, sophomore year. You're going to be 20. You're going to be 20. Some of these guys might be 20, 21 when they come out.
Yeah.
So then you are actually now fully a legal adult. So you're not going to have a Jahlil Okafor incident where he got kicked out of a bar for trying to order a drink,
Yeah.
which at the time he was only 19.
Right.
So you're not going to have that. These guys are going to be more mature mentally, physically. They'll, especially if you have the top recruits coming out of 2 years from like a Duke or a North Carolina or a Kansas or a Kentucky.
Yeah.
You're going to have 2 years, 2 years under Coach K. There's a reason why all the NBA players wanted Coach K as the national team coach for years.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they all wanted to play for him.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows how good a Coach K is. A
Right.
Jim Boeheim, a Roy Williams, a Bill Self.
Absolutely.
2 years, and then the team that drafted you has your contract rights for, let's say, 4 years then.
Right. No, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting concept. The problem is, I think, because those NBA teams are drafting these guys so high, and because obviously the rosters are so limited to the amount of players you can have, being at 15 at the tops, I think they want those guys right away. So if you're drafting a guy in the top 10, your hope is that guy is getting plugged into your system.
Well, what if he's
either
not-
right away or
Yeah, well, what if he doesn't perform good enough right away?
That's been the biggest problem. That's the biggest problem.
But that could save some of these guys'
Absolutely.
careers.
Absolutely.
Like I'll point to a Ben McLemore.
Right, yeah.
Ben McLemore was taken 3rd overall in the draft.
Right.
Not a very good selection at 3rd.
Yeah.
But if he slid down to 7, if he was just like a top 10 pick,
Yeah.
he's a nice player. He's still in the league.
Right.
He's a nice player.
Yeah. Well,
Not top 3, but
right, yeah. Well, and it also kind of depends too, because you always have to make the one thing these players we never know about is, are they going to fit into the team system?
Yep.
Teams are always changing coaches, which always can change this. They can always change the scheme on how they're going to do things. And especially now, I mean, I just mentioned it, like the point guard right now dominates the NBA. I feel like Zion, Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, Ben Simmons, we're seeing the integration now of the power forward, the big man, the center, coming back to form as maybe being the top player. So I think this will be the transition period where some teams may say, you know what, we got these star players who are big men, and obviously you got Giannis too, Giannis is in everything. So it's going to be hard to be able to say, you know what, point guards are dominating the league anymore when you've got all these forwards now that are starting to kind of take the center stage and take over the game. So
center stage. I see what you did there.
thank you. Yes, a little subtle pun there for everybody out there. But I think it's just it's you have to be very careful with how this is going to happen, because obviously one big thing, and it's the rude awakening. If you're going to go into the draft at 18 years old and you find yourself out of the league, I mean, yes, you have the money to be able to pay for college then probably, which is great, but just you better have an understanding of what you're going to do then with the rest of your life, because one of the problems that's been there, not just in basketball, but in all professional sports, you don't manage your money right, or you find yourself out of the league too soon, and then you say, what do I have? What skills do I have? What do I know how to do outside of play basketball? That's my fear for guys like Zion Williamson and others. What happens when the dream ends and you may have the money, but you have to pay off all these expenses and things like that now, the house, the car, the agent, your mom, your dad, probably something like that. However you're spending your money
and I think the biggest thing, Andrew, is not even that, it's the lifestyle.
Right.
Once some of these guys who in any of these sports, some of them came from literally nothing.
Yeah.
to now they have millions of dollars. So they're, going out dropping 20, 25 grand at a nightclub.
Exactly.
Or, they're going out and buying each of their homies a car.
Yeah.
Or they're buying their mom a new house, which, again, you got to take care of mama.
Right.
But, they're buying mama a house. They're buying bro a house. They're
Right.
buying this, that, and the other thing. I think that's one of the biggest things that professional sports still has to address is they need to teach some of these athletes how to not manage their money, because guess what? Like, realistically, you can learn that through trial and error.
Yeah.
But you have to learn a lifestyle, because once you get a taste, I imagine once you get a taste of that high roller lifestyle, I mean, I think I could speak on behalf of everybody, either between you and me or everyone in the booth over there.
Mm-hmm.
If we had a high roller lifestyle, would you want to give that up? Because I sure as hell wouldn't.
I mean, we wouldn't be in this studio right now, I can tell you that.
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
exactly. So, it kind of defeats the purpose.
Although we love it here. We love it here. We love it here. But no, I mean, the good thing is, at least now there are schools. I believe there's 10 or 11 schools out there now that are implementing classes that are specifically drawn towards professional athletes, whether you're going to be one or not. That'll help you learn how to manage your money, how to manage an agent.
That's
all
a
that
good skill
and
for anybody. Managing money, that's a good skill for anybody.
But but it's geared towards professional athletes, but it's a class that anyone can take. And I believe there's about 11 schools now that have implemented it, and they're trying to make this thing go nationwide.
Why is this not already a thing?
I don't know. If I wish it would have been, so I could have taken it already. Because
yeah,
I'm telling you, at least I would have got a B in that class. That's all I know.
Yeah,
It would have been nice. All right, but you guys can let us know what you think about the whole Zion Williamson changing of the age for the NBA. Do you think that this is going to make a giant impact into college basketball? How do you think this is going to impact college basketball? Is it going to be a good thing, bad thing? You guys can let us know in the comment section down below. Or other as well, yes.
Other is always an option.
Other is always an option. But to finally move this one on before we go to commercial break, some big news dropped. If you're a fan of Last Chance U, which is a show on Netflix, they recently had season 3 come out, which was on Independence Community College in Independence, Kansas.
So is this the third school they've had do it?
This is the second school.
Is it?
First 2 seasons were for East Mississippi Community College.
Oh, wow.
This third season was for Independence CC.
Well.
So this coach, the head coach, is named Jason Brown. And
which is ironic because he looks pretty white to me.
Yeah, well, he's from the Compton area in California, so yeah, exactly. So this is one hard coach, man. If you've watched him on if you've seen him on Last Chance U, he is extremely temperamental. He does not hold back on any of his players.
That's a bad dude.
He is one bad dude, but recently he got in some trouble and has been forced to resign from Independence Community College after he brought in a player from Germany by the name of Alexandros Alexou, and in a text message referred to himself, being Coach Brown, referred to himself as being his new Hitler.
Oh.
Yeah. So my question to you, Kevin, is how out of line do you call this one? Because you and I have both played football. Obviously, there's others here who have also played football. But what are your thoughts on this? I mean, how out of line do you see this? And also, too, do you know, obviously be very explicit, but any comments you remember from your coaching days at anyone's?
That's tough.
Yeah.
I could understand, if you wanted to say that, oh, you're my Burgermeister Meisterburger, you're my Dirk Nowitzki, I'm trying to think of other famous Germans. Do you know what's the Prime Minister of Germany? Who's she again? If you even wanted to say like, oh, are you like related to her or something like, just because he's German?
Yeah.
Like that's not, but you just compared this guy to a guy.
He compared himself. Coach Brown compared himself to Hitler, saying that to this German player, I, being your coach, am your new Hitler. That is what he told this man in leaked text messages coming.
So now what you're telling me is that this man, that you, the coach, are a man who convinced millions of people that mass genocide and ethnic cleansing is okay and was responsible for the bloodiest human catastrophe in all of human history.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to that degree, but I mean, he certainly is calling himself. He's trying. I think he was trying to say like, "I'm your new general," but that is the wrong way to go about things.
I understand that he's trying to, not quote unquote assert his authority and beat his chest, but yeah, just know that I'm in charge and stuff like that.
I mean, is that not simple enough to say? I mean,
if you wanted to be funny, you could have said, "Hey, I'm your daddy now."
Yeah,
you could even have said something like that, and would it have been kind of messed up and weird? Yes, but even that wouldn't have been as bad.
Well, he's even said that on the show. He's like, "I'm your father now. I take care of you." Beep 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 beep.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's always swearing left and right. But like,
that's fine. That's just a football coach being a football coach. But
this is way out of line.
That is. I'm actually kind of speechless about that, to be honest.
That's what a lot of people have been saying.
I thought when we talked about this before the show that he called him the player.
No. He called himself. He called himself.
So that's even worse in my opinion. But Andrew, to answer your question, what's some of the worst things I've ever seen or I've ever heard?
Yeah.
So one time, I actually said one of them because So this was freshman year, and I wasn't on the varsity college. This is when I was in college, my freshman year of college. Wasn't on the varsity team right away. So I was in a JV game, and my roommate, Eddie Vargas, kid from California, short little guy, was one of the running backs. And I was out we ran a toss play to the opposite side of the field from where I was.
Yeah.
I was trailing the play or whatever, looking for someone to block, and then all of a sudden, like, he's going out of bounds, and this guy takes a complete and total cheap shot.
Yeah.
Like, he is 2 yards outside the line and just runs over and just picks him up and slams him on the ground.
Oh, man.
And I legit got in this dude's face. I'm like, dude. I said to myself, there's only one on this team that's allowed to do that, and that's me.
Yeah.
So the next play, we run another run play, and I am seeking I am like a heat-seeking missile. I know where this kid is. I am ignoring everybody else on the field.
Right.
But this asshole. So then he's, near the pile, doesn't jump on it, and I just come and just ear hole him. So he gets up and gets in my face, and it starts getting to pushing and shoving, and then at one point someone basically used a couple racial slurs saying that this ain't shit and blah 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 blah. It was going both ways too. They were using the one that starts with an N and the one that starts with an H.
Oh boy.
to describe a Caucasian person.
Yeah.
And at one point it got to the point where he said that, dude, if you got something to say, let's talk in the locker. Let's meet each other outside the locker room. I'm like, I bet.
Oh my God.
Other times there was the rivalry game because Aurora University and Benedictine University. We don't like each other very much. My junior year, so we were finishing up warm-ups. We came out of the locker room after we did full warm-ups.
Yeah.
Rah-rah speech, run back out here. And we're just doing the rest of, the little warm-ups just to stay loose. And Benedictine is done, but instead of going to their bench, they go to midfield, where our logo is. And they started having a dance party on the logo. So that was not very nice.
Yeah.
So me and about 4 other of my teammates immediately sprinted over there and just plowed into as many players as we could.
Nice.
It was literally like a wall of 4 human beings just
bowling balls.
It literally looked like a Red Rover and just running as fast as we can. And let's just say that at that point that game made the news twice that
really
day. Once for the pregame fight,
Yeah.
and the other time because we beat them in overtime on a blocked field goal.
Oh, nice. Jeez, man.
F-U-B-U. Till the day I die. To the day I die.
God,
F-U-B-U.
All right. Well, you guys can let us know what are some of what are your takes on Jason Brown and his comments on this? What are some of the worst comments you ever got from one of your coaches?
What about you, Andrew?
One of the worst comments I ever got from one of my coaches, man, it was just taking a ball and putting it somewhere where the sun don't shine till I hop on a goalpost, and then I find myself in the locker room. It was very odd, believe me. My coach was very skeeved.
How does that even make sense?
Dude, my coaches would get so mad. They would start, like, yelling things. And it's one of those things where they just start yelling any random stuff because they're just so mad at us. And at some point, it would just end with, just go take a run. So that was it for me.
Sounds about right.
But when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk into some baseball really fast, and then we're going to get into some talks on, obviously, Robert Kraft and the Dallas Cowboys. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, because we'll be right back here on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show.
Throughout the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, Judy Finelli established herself as a masterful juggler and performer, making appearances everywhere from Carnegie Hall to Sesame Street. With her loving heart, she has brought warm smiles to children everywhere she has performed. She even started the San Francisco School for the Circus Arts, but shortly after, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and by 2004, she was completely paralyzed. In celebration of her accomplishments and to fight the illness that had crippled Judy, a group of students from the San Francisco Clown College have compiled the perfect holiday present for those who want to laugh and to help those struggling with the illness. The goal has been set at $1 million raised, with 100% of any dollar made to be donated to the Judy Finelli Fund, which is helping find a cure to multiple sclerosis. Visit www.circuscenter.org to make a donation or to purchase a framed Naked Clown photo or the full Naked Clown 12-month calendar. Remember, 100% of every dollar is donated and goes to fighting MS.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. I'm Andrew Valentin, and I was just taking a quick stretch there as I was getting ready for a nap, but I got woken up, luckily, just in the nick of time. I'm still here with Kevin Berger, who is now no longer on the floor. I don't have any more comments that can put him on the floor at this point now, but if any do come to my mind, I'll be sure to say them. All right, so now we're going to be pouring into some more stuff. If you guys don't know, at the start of the show, we were talking about the Eastern Conference for the NBA. We talked about LeBron James and the Lakers and their controversy.
Baby Bron.
We just got done talking about Jason Coach from Independent CC from Last Chance U. And we also talked a little bit on college basketball and the changes that could be happening. And, of course, Zion Williamson. Now we're going to be pouring into baseball because, obviously, if you guys have not heard, the big news is that Colorado Rockies third baseman Nolan Arenado has officially signed his new extension deal with the Rockies. 8 years, $260 million. And with that, I have to ask you, Kevin, what does this do now for the future of Major League Baseball free agency, you think? Because obviously Machado just signed his big 10-year, $300 million deal with the San Diego Padres. What does this now do for the free agency market, you think,
Absolutely
going
nothing.
forward in the
Absolutely
future?
nothing at all.
Really?
No.
Okay. Why is that?
Because, Andrew, we've noticed this year, the big market teams that you would expect to overbid, they're not overpaying anymore.
Right.
I mean, the fact that the Padres overpaid for Machado, I mean, yeah, that was going to happen. Everybody saw. Nolan Arenado is worth every penny of this contract, I think. And his career numbers, his WAR is 33.1, so about 33 wins above replacement. Has 975 hits, 186 home runs. Career batting average right now, 291.
Yeah.
It's and he's not too shabby with the glove down there over there either. He's not too shabby with the glove.
He's just a solid all-around player when it comes to
616 runs driven, runs batted in.
Yeah.
Guy's worth every penny of it. And the Rockies wanted to lock him up, and they did.
Absolutely.
The guy earned his contract. To me, Andrew, I think part of the reason why that Bryce Harper, I know we wanted to stick to Nolan Arenado, but of course free agency.
This is certainly an expansion because this affects all free agents.
Yeah.
Certainly Bryce Harper, still the top free
Exactly.
agent.
We can't talk about free agency and not talk about Bryce Harper.
Right.
I don't think a lot of teams think that Bryce Harper deserves that type of contract.
Right.
Because is he talented? Yes. Do you ever have to question his effort?
Right.
No. Is he a left-handed bat, which is another big piece to him? Yes. But the fact of the matter is his numbers, while good and solid, other than his MVP year, are not anything warranting $300 million.
Right.
And I think the other thing is that who his agent is.
No, yeah.
I don't think teams. I think part of this is Scott Boras being Scott Boras.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think teams want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you had the Yankees didn't want any part of it.
Right.
The Dodgers. I mean, now of course the rumors have now come out that the Dodgers would like to sign to a shorter term deal.
Yeah.
Which, if I was Bryce Harper, if the money was comparable, if you stretched it out over 10 years, I would say take it.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Except the whole thing, Andrew, is that then at the same time, it doesn't make any sense for the Dodgers because they already have a bunch of left-handed bats.
Yeah. And that's a good point. And that's a big thing. Obviously,
the only team that makes any sense is the Phillies, but I don't think he wants to play in Philadelphia. I think he wants to play in Chicago.
Yeah.
But the White Sox aren't going after him, and the Cubs don't have the money.
Yeah. Well, the talk is that the two teams that he was interested in most before the season ended were the Dodgers and the Cubs. Obviously, those teams could still definitely be in play. The Dodgers seem to be sort of highlighted as maybe the team that it lands Harper at this point because it seems like he doesn't maybe want to play in Philadelphia, or maybe it is Boras that doesn't want him to play there. But certainly when you talk like with Nolan Arenado signing this large extension, this does up the ante now for Bryce Harper, and it also now affects the future because now you think if Scott Boras is able to somehow negotiate out, maybe let's say he does get Harper that 10-year, $325 million contract he gets, right? Is it rightfully deserved? I mean, there's an argument that could be said.
You could say yes and you could say no.
Say it, but there's also an argument that says no, he's not really worth it. But it's all been structured now because that's what the market is dictating it. And this now with Arenado signing this contract doesn't help that situation because now it says, so if you're a star player who has MVP caliber in his blood,
how is he not worth $300 million?
Exactly. So and that's the problem. And this now makes it a problem too for the Cubs now, to relate it back up to us here at home because they've got an MVP sitting in their roster by the name of Chris Bryant, who luckily still has, I believe, 3 years left on his contract or so before he has to renegotiate. But then that's the other thing. When you hit that renegotiation table,
how old is Bryant right now?
Bryant right now, I believe, is 25, 26. So he's still in the prime.
So he's going to be in prime probably 28, 29.
Right.
When his contract ends and it comes time to negotiate or arbitration.
I believe that's correct. I might be wrong.
If I were the Cubs, I'd get Baez. You have to take a pick of whether you want to get locked up now because I think I heard it on Mulligan Hall this morning that in order for this to be a successful preseason, they're going to have to get extensions for either Hendricks, Baez, or Bryant.
Yeah.
Done.
Well, and that's the other question, too, because Arenado, being the kind of player he is, and after what we saw from Javi Baez, how he made his rise, if he continues this level of play, there's an opportunity now for him to say, well, Arenado got this big contract.
Where's my money?
Don't I deserve something like that? I mean, I just saved the Cubs season last year. You know, what's up with that? I mean, it's going to be – it's a hard sell, and that's why this contract becomes a big part of – that's why this contract is being talked about because now this drives the question, who do we sign to big money? Who do we keep? Who do we let go? Who do we let walk? Because you don't want to let all-star talent go when you don't know if your young prospects are going to be coming in as the hot tickets.
And
you hope, but you don't know.
And they don't know. They don't really have a lot of prospects right now.
No, and
they got rid of most of them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And like for the Rockies, they understand. Look, he's our leader. He's our guy. He's the one that feeds this machine. We build around him. They've got some decent young guys who are starting to come up, but they understand we have a core. He's the biggest piece of it. We have to keep that one in spot. If they let him walk, they have to start the rebuilding process all over again, because after they lost Troy Tulowitzki, a lot of people said, well, now what? It's okay. You've got Arenado.
I mean, Troy Tulowitzki was also like starting to get older.
Well, yeah, he was getting out of his way, but that's the thing is like he moves out of the way and Arenado just moves right in.
Yep.
That's gonna, and this is where the big question now comes. And obviously, like you said, Bryce Harper, we have no idea what's gonna happen with him. I don't think anybody has the slightest clue.
I don't think Bryce Harper knows what's gonna happen.
No, I mean we talked about this on last week's show, which will eventually get posted on there. Don't you worry. But you know, it's one of those things where when we look at like the superstars and stuff, with Machado, he feels like he could be the blip on the radar of like, oh yeah, that happened. With guys, I mean, certainly he could be a Hall of Famer by the time it comes. He's on that verge, but right now where it sits, I feel like he could be the guy that's like, well, he had a good career, and we talk about him a little bit, and then it's like, that's it. Harper could be that guy that at the end of his career, we could talk about him as a Hall of Famer, but right now as it's going, it's tough to sell on that. It's really tough to sell on that.
Who I think this is more fascinating for is depending on how Bryce Harper's contract is Mike Trout.
Yeah. Oh, well, that is the big seller for a lot of people because obviously he's the guy that he gets compared to the most.
No, Mike Trout is the best player in baseball.
I don't argue that at all. I think he is the face of Major League Baseball, as much as he doesn't want to be.
Yeah,
which I think is amazing. He doesn't want to be the face, yet he is the face. He just
wants to show up to the ballpark and play. Now, if we're gonna I'm going to backtrack to Machado a little bit.
Yeah,
Andrew, the bottom line is Manny Machado got his deal, he got his money, and now he's going to go enjoy being irrelevant in San Diego.
Ooh, man, that's a lot of people.
They are literally the only team in San Diego now. Because you don't have the Chargers, you don't have a basketball team.
Yeah.
They don't even have a soccer team. They don't even have an MLS team.
No.
Except, you know how many people are going to care?
Exactly.
Well, on the national stage.
It's one of those things where people will be like, well, I don't want to go to the San Diego Zoo, don't want to go to the beach.
No.
Maybe we'll go see the Padres play. Maybe we'll go see Manny Machado, buy a uniform.
So stupid. But you know what?
San Diego's putting all its money, I guess, into baseball now.
But hey, you know what? If that's what the guy wants, hey, I applaud you for going to take the money and doing what you want to do, man. But at the same time, like I just don't feel like in terms of a career move that it was the best idea.
All right.
But of course, I'm entitled to my wrong opinion, aren't I?
Well, you know what? It is your opinion, and you're neither wrong nor are you right.
That's debatable.
It's all.
Kyrie Irving's opinion that the world is flat is wrong.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of scientific evidence that says that he's definitely maybe not on the side of right. That's for
Andrew,
sure.
You don't even need scientific evidence because there's one surefire way that I know that the Earth is round. It's because if the Earth was flat, cats over the course of millions of years would have pushed everything off of it by now.
That's solid. I like that. I'll get some love for that. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, you guys can let us know what do you think of Nolan Arenado's contract. You guys can let us know down below what do you think it does to free agency in Major League Baseball as well. Please comment down below. All right. To end this one off, we're gonna do rapid fire on this one because these two are just too much fun to ignore. Because. I mean, these stories are ridiculous. So, obviously, the NFL, we know we love the NFL here at X-Bomb Sports and at X-Bomb Productions. We love the NFL. The big story from the NFL definitely was Patriots owner Robert Kraft being caught up in a case of sex trafficking through Florida. He's been charged with 2 counts of first-degree solicitation.
Solicitation of prostitution, in case you guys don't watch Law & Order enough.
Yes, absolutely. So, Kevin, obviously, big question is, what are the Patriots and the NFL going to do, you think?
What the hell can the Patriots do? The man owns the team. What the hell are they going to do to the man who owns the team? What, is he going to punish himself?
That's it. I mean, well, that's the question.
And then you know what the NFL is going to do? Seriously, Andrew, what can the NFL do? It wasn't a player.
Yeah.
It wasn't a coach. It wasn't a GM, conspiring to keep a player out of the league or whatever. This is literally one of the owners. Like, how can you punish the play? Because there is no way the NFL can justify punishing the players and the coaches for the actions of the owner. You cannot hold them responsible. And this is going out to all of you people who say, Deflategate, Spygate, the Patriots suck, they're cheaters, they don't deserve to win, their Super Bowl trophies are flawed. No! None of you were crying saying that they need to hold Robert Kraft responsible for the actions of Bill Belichick or Tom Brady or insert name here. So how are you going to justify that they need to punish the Patriots by taking away draft picks or something like that?
Well,
because you can't hold Tom Brady or Bill Belichick responsible. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing on this is that they're thinking that perhaps this will make the NFL owners vote to force Robert Kraft to sell the Patriots.
Bullshit.
That's been the talk, is that, because it's the owner, what do you do when he's in this situation? I mean, is he going to continue to own the team from behind bars? What's going to happen with the team if this comes down and he finds himself having to do jail time, or even prison time?
His family owns the team.
So
that's utterly ludicrous. That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard on this show. That's even dumber than some of the things I've heard Tom say on this show. And that's saying something.
Yeah.
That is utterly ridiculous. There is no way that you can force the man to sell his team. How long has he owned the Patriots? 20, 30 years?
No, it's been him since the 90s, yeah.
Exactly.
So it has been a while.
So does that mean that we're going to tell Jerry Jones that he has to sell the Cowboys because of all the domestic violence abusers he's had on his team?
Who knows, man?
Or the amount of ex-cons that Jerry Jones has had on the Cowboys?
I thought they're just called Cowboys.
No, the Cowgirls. I'm sorry, the Cowgirls.
Okay. I get you.
Exactly. And no, of course they're not going to do that. No, Jerry Jones can't be held responsible. Yeah, well, exactly. So bull fucking shit.
All right. Well, the final story we got to talk here. Obviously, you already mentioned it. Dallas Cowboys, they've had some more issues arise. Randy Gregory has been suspended indefinitely.
That Jason Garrett's still the coach.
Yeah, aside from that. And, of course,
Dak is still overrated.
Jerry Jones still thinks Tony Romo can still be a good quarterback.
Hey,
outside of that, Randy Gregory's been suspended indefinitely for failing his 7th drug test in 3 years.
Again.
And David Irving now is under suspicion from the NFL and is under investigation for violating team rules and league rules as well. There's not word if that is also due to marijuana or anything like that, but speculation has arose because this has been a reoccurring theme with the Cowboys. This is certainly a problem. Now, Kevin, I'm going to ask you and just answer as quick as you can.
Yep.
What do you think is going to happen with the Cowboys?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing?
No.
All right.
What has ever happened when any of this other shit has happened to them in the past?
I'm just wondering if it's ever going
Nothing.
If we're just ever going to come to a point where we hear Jerry Jones say, that guy that got suspended, I'm letting him go.
No.
You're going to, what?
No.
Yeah.
Because the day that he does that is the day that he'll fire Jason Garrett, which is not going to happen.
Well,
it's not going to happen.
I will say this. I think he fires Jason Garrett, but that's only because he gets Tony Romo as his head coach.
Oh, my God.
With Jason Witten as his assistant.
Oh, my God.
And Booger McFarland as his special teams coach.
Oh, guys, real quick, did you see Pac-Man Jones got arrested again?
Oh, you mean he's still setting the record, really?
Yeah.
I did not know. I did see something about him. I didn't realize he had been arrested.
Yep.
I saw something like Adam Pac-Man Jones at it again, and I'm like, I just kind of like, well, what do you get suspended for this time?
No, guys, the Cowboys are the biggest embarrassment in American professional sports.
They've really become like the Oakland Raiders back in the day were called kind of the cast-offs. It feels like the Dallas Cowboys are kind of becoming that.
And then they
that
still
spot.
preach themselves as America's team. Guess what, Dallas? Nobody outside of Dallas likes you. Everybody hates you. For once, I will agree with Philly fans. Dallas Cowboy fans are the worst.
They absolutely
because they're delusional. You know what? No, I'm just going to stick with that. You're delusional. Because you are never going to win another Super Bowl until Jerry Jones is no longer the owner of the team.
Well,
In which case, he'll probably have to be dead.
Absolutely. And that's the only way he's selling that team. And even then, his spirit will still haunt this team. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's going to do it for us here on the show. This has been a whole lot of fun. This has been a blast. It's been a whole lot here we've been getting through, but we finally got through it all. So,
Hey,
Kevin.
wow, we actually ended on time.
I know. So, Kevin, where can they find you, man?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at KevinB_the_Gamer. You can follow me on Instagram at _Berg Squad. It will come up as K $. Yes, that is a play on words. And if you guys are interested in video games at all, you can check out me and the Respawn Cat over on the Respawn Cast on Twitch and on Facebook. Tomorrow, we will be streaming Persona 5 and Final Fantasy X.
I knew you were going to choose that one. I watched the stream, and I heard the thing. I put out Anthem. You guys should play Anthem.
I don't have Anthem.
Oh, that's fine. I have Anthem. I would not recommend it, though. Controversy? You're damn right.
Yep. Oh, don't worry. We can get an angry rant on Anthem. Don't you worry.
Not now. We don't have the time. We do not have that time. Trust me. Between you and me ranting on it,
Quinn?
no time. No time.
Fight me!
All right. If you guys want to find me on Twitter, you can find me at @TheFluffyGuru on Twitter. Find us at XBomb Sports on Twitter. Find us at XBomb Sports Official
Subscribe to
on
the
Instagram.
YouTube channel.
Subscribe here to the YouTube channel at XBomb Productions. We're going to bring you a whole lot more new stuff with the Respawn Cast. Make sure to go check those guys out every Tuesday and Friday. They're going to be streaming. Actually, you guys stream almost every day. So make sure to also check out the Respawn Point. Broadcasters After Dark is going to be coming soon. Scribes 3 is coming soon. And we're also going to be putting up points coming up real soon. So you guys make sure to go check out all that stuff. We're going to be hosting all the social media on here as soon as we can get it all. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next Wednesday here on the XBomb Sports Live Show. Much love. Peace out, Boom Crew.